Hola a todos. I wanted to run a couple of things by you. Over the weekend, I've been able to grade many of your written assignments, and a little bit of a trend came about. So I want to highlight the proper use of online translators. I'm not a fan of them because they allow you to just put in a lot of your thoughts, and your English thoughts are much more complex than the abilities that we have at certain points in our Spanish progression, especially for those in 101 and 102. But it really is a tool that, while it's helpful sometimes, it truly does not always respect the grammar rules that we are learning in each of our units. So Google Translate is, however, a great tool for an easy access to something like a dictionary. But also, you have to make sure that you are aware of what you're looking for. So you can't just throw a word in and decide, oh, okay, I'll take whatever the first hit is and use it in my sentence, because 100% of the time it's not going to be what you need. So let me guide you through this real quick, and hopefully you'll become better friends with Google Translate or any of the translators that you use. So you go to Google Translate and you're using something like alto. I just grabbed something quite simple, and you say tall. Okay, well, that's great if you're looking for the adjective tall. So what you need to do is come down here where it gives you the part of speech and the options. So are you saying that someone is tall? Then okay, you're using it as an adjective and you need to match it in gender and number agreement. Awesome. Are you saying that someone is talking loud or being loud? So that's more like an adverb use. So again, you have to keep an eye on how you would place it in the sentence and how you would use that. Or for example, the stop, halt, that's more of like an imperative, a command. So that's just asking someone to do something. Hey, stop. Or hey, do this. And so that's a different tense that we wouldn't learn until much later in 201. So again, when you're looking for a particular word, make sure that you're not just using that first hit. Go through and ask yourself, in my idea, what I'd like to use it as, and then go from there. So another way that I know that we are using these particular translators is when I am reading your work and your work is not displaying the skills that we're learning in the lesson. And up until this point, I've been able to see kind of where your skills are at. And so when I come about a sentence like this, que sea la última vez que lleguen tarde, and you're like at the 101, 102 level, sometimes even at the 201 level, I know that you're not there yet. Some of us may, if we have a lot of background Spanish knowledge, but the majority of us do not. So what happens is that you're using these translators to throw in your English thoughts. So in English, you could say, oh yeah, make it the last time you're late. That seems pretty normal, right? But again, when you give that in Spanish, these are some much more complicated tenses that we are not touching yet, especially if we're in 101 and 102. And like I said, beginnings of 201. So please, 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 do not use the translator to give you full ideas. You've now received the tools to complete your own sentences. Refer back to the text if you're reading a text. Look through your notes. Remember what is the sentence structure that I need to follow, and look for words and definitions, but please avoid throwing in your full English thoughts and copying and pasting. Okay, so for example, another one here. The secretary was up and they had already closed. It seems like a fairly simple English idea. However, these particular grammar skills are not grammar skills that you have in 101, in 102. Estaba arriba is a skill that we do halfway through 201, and habían cerrado is not a skill that you would get to until 202. So again, if you have any doubts, submit a help request. I'd gladly give you some feedback, but avoid throwing in your full English ideas, which are far more complex than your Spanish skills. So reach out if you need any help with this, but please, please, please use the translators to help you, but not to do your work. Have a great evening.